Right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Earthbound Super Series match that we have coming on tonight. It's like we're just getting ready to start shortly. All right, and we should be going. All right, well, at least it's not a missed start. It's just a little bit of lag between the streams. Like always, not a lot going on right at the beginning, of course. Yeah, how does everything sound? Are the levels okay? All right. Well, tonight looks like, as everyone can see, got Flynstoned versus Hunter up in the 1-0 matches. I always thought Hunter before was a bat the second or third time around, so looks like he might have switched that around, or just remembering it wrong. Yep. So right at the beginning, like always, pretty simple. Walk up the hill, walk down the hill. Not a lot going on. Spawns are off now. RNG's off now. Just not much going on, but just walking over to get it. Well, RNG 3. So pathing is just all about trying to stay as efficient as you can and not talk to the cop. Yeah, so far, not too many differences between them. Pretty much have the exact same thing going on. No even kind of they're getting the bad at the same time. It's always kind of just practicing your walk, making sure not to bonk everything. I don't know how many times I, for some odd reason, just love getting caught in the mailbox when I'm walking up. Not the best thing to do. Not the easiest thing to do. We got the prediction up for who's going to win the race. Oh, pretty soon we're finally going to actually start getting some stuff going on. First main difference is once we go back upstairs and come back down, we'll see if we get anybody going above the couch. Just because it's kind of your first tiny split. Just a small little difference you have to bump through. I think it saves you a couple frames if you can get the bump smoothed out, right? Punch does a great job at dodging our sister. Walking behind the couch to talk to Dad. I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone go that direction for answering the phone. And then Hunter does it immediately, so maybe I just haven't looked. But with both that, we know they're both going to be behind the couch for answering the phone, because King's in the way otherwise. Alright, nice spawns right outside for Flint. Pretty much that front yard is what you're always looking for, just to make sure nothing's there. Ooh. Hunter just barely scoops by before the dog can swoop in too close. It's got a lot of spawns for both our players, actually, kind of on this first spawn plate. But some nice stuttering from Flint to go through and scoop by that snake. And Hunter gets the great crow that just kind of really likes the bush. Pretty even on the walk up, though. Both of them get spawns kind of on the turnaround on the top and can just tuck off to the side and drop the spawns. So pretty smooth walks overall, and both pretty equal. I've never seen a snake up there. I didn't know anything could spawn at the top. I'm not really certain how that happened. Hunter definitely has the worst pokey kind of scoop, but you don't really have a chance to do it if you're coming on the top. This is definitely not where you want to be, but it's much better than taking a snake fight, so that was kind of a good adjustment to just quickly pull over. Oh yeah, you don't actually have to walk all the way to the meteor. You just have, it's kind of just the Y axis when you pass it. I'm still blown away by the snake up there. I've never seen a snake. I didn't know that I don't know how that got up there. I've never seen or heard of one up there before. Thankfully, it doesn't cause too much of an issue. Just lose a little bit of time on redirecting, and the worst part being that Buzz has to just slowly, just leisurely float on over to Ness and Pokey before he can tell you his tale. So definitely being further away is not great. All right, so we got the first start for Starman Jr. Over here, you're just kind of at RNG's mercy. What you're really happy for is guards with some charges, as we just got to see from Flint. That's exactly what you're really hoping for. And not the fires. The fires are the slowest, but also by far the most common. The animations for it and just attacks take a little bit longer. Hunter gets a guard on the cast turn, so you're really happy about that one. There's no RNG. Looks like Flint didn't quite have enough damage, but it's really close. So that should definitely be a 3 cycle. Oh, Hunter's a little bit on the low side too. So 68, and I think I saw an 80 on the first hit. All right, and Flint is right through with just a flat 8, which is pretty right in the middle. Was that a 27 Buzz hit for Hunter? That is unreasonably low. That is, I think theoretically the lowest hit it could possibly be is 26, and a 27 is that is very low for Hunter. But thankfully he didn't lose too much time still. I think it was like a 8:19, 8:20. So it was only about a really early in the race, only a 20-second difference. So it's not a big difference. I think they both had 3 turns, so. Just gotta mash through and just put Buzz out of his misery. Just be like, yep, you don't have to keep talking to me. We got you. We got your mission. We're not gonna fulfill it today, but maybe another time. But at least when you are in the race and you get the 3 turn Starman Jr., you're a little bit happier if you both get it, just to make it. It doesn't make a big difference. Truthfully, the cycles are not the longest. I just always kind of like a little bit where things float out. So we're finally getting outside to where we're going to go through a couple different storyline spots and just have to walk down to watch out for enemies. Sometimes going through here can be a little bit tricky. Yep, so if you're lucky, you can kind of pull the dog up to the side of the, there's a couple different things you can do to try to work the enemies to be a little more in your favor. When they do spawn there, it's not always the easiest, and you have to be careful. But things like pulling the dog to the side of the tree, allowing you to scoot on by on the left side, the opposite side. What's Hunter gonna get? Oh, just a snake, so I should be able to just stutter by that. Oh, Hunter has a little bit of bad luck and has a snake right into the dog, which you can't stutter past the dog or the crow, and the snake requires you to stutter, so you're pretty out of luck if you get that far over, especially with the dog hiding behind the trees, so you don't even get to see it. It will make the first skate punk, the first Pogo Punk fight a little bit easier, just because once you gain 1 experience on the way down there, you will gain an extra level, which you get that level anyways. You just get a tiny bit earlier, which can sometimes make that first skate punk, or the Pogo Punk, just a little bit easier. So, and back over. So Flint is now coming down. Gonna go through one of kind of a skip that we found a little bit ago that allows you to just walk through a couple spawn plates and kind of deactivate them as you're walking through. So we get our first Pogo Punk fight. All right, we do start with a charge, but it missed, which you're really happy about that. Pretty much the first Pogo Punk can obviously has 3 attacks that it pretty much can do. It can fall over, it can charge forward. I'm pretty certain it can also charge forward again, as I think how it's set up, and it can hit you with a weak attack. That charge forward on turn 1 is the worst thing he can do, because 3 charge forwards will take you out. But if he misses, you're in luck, and you're feeling good. Alright, so Hunter is just going to go through. No can of trash juice being taken yet. And he gets a fall over also, so that's great. And a smash. So that's a great first Pogo Punk for Hunter. And yeah, definitely Flint's stream is a little bit bright. Every once in a while, you just want to blow out your stream and just make everything as bright as possible. Get neon grass. Can't even see the grass parts anymore. Alright, so we're starting the Frank fight. Got a nice 48 HP, which is pretty good. And at 19, that's a really solid amount of damage. So Flint definitely has kind of the looks of a great start for Frank. You can generally have things between about like 45 to about 48 HP in that range, and 23 damage is not that uncommon to get when Frank slashes you. So nice smooth first fight. Through Frankie, onto Frankenstein, and Hunter's is looking pretty normal so far, also has 48 HP, so... Oh, Hunter getting another smash. These are some nice smashes coming over from Hunter to help make up a little bit of time. Oh, that is not a big difference between the two of them at this point. I actually missed Flint's time, and then it's off a little bit because Hunter's time is behind by about 8 seconds. But I think we had a 13, what was that, 46, and I think Flint was just right before that. So we're actually really close. Yeah, Hunter is only about 4 seconds behind, so we are neck and neck, heading still right through the middle of a net. That is nothing. Gonna go over and talk to not a great mayor, but you know, I guess he does what he can. Just, child labor and everything. I'm assuming, since with it being a race, we're probably gonna go get some burgers being bought. Generally pretty standard to get the burgers in your race, of course. I don't think Perkle's the only one who's really looking at what people think as you get close to elections, to tell you the truth. As sad as that is. Oh, Hunter's gonna go ahead and pull out all of the money. I generally just cut it close and just pull out 100. That allows you to buy, I think it's 7 burgers total. As long as you don't use any on your way up, you only need 5 here. It fills up your inventory. And then you'll have enough left over to, if for some reason, if you need to buy like 2 on the way down, you don't have to withdraw anything. But playing it super safe, you definitely could go. Alright, and so Flint just made a tiny little kind of little bumble. Actually, Hunter's gonna have to readjust it the other way. When you're coming up, if you just kind of bump off the trees that are just to the right of the path, that'll slide you right up to the door without having to talk to it. Like Flint actually talked to it, and then Hunter went out of his way, but he was able to kind of go over to the right side of it, where you still don't get the pop up. But thankfully, Hunter gets a nice 4-pack of slugs right at the entrance. You really can't ask for much more than getting them right at the entrance. So we got 4-0 so far. Flint is kind of hunting for slugs, or really a mouse right here. Obviously, most people talked about it. What you're really looking for is to hook a mouse over there, because basically the spawn plates to the left can spawn either a mouse or slugs. And if there's already a mouse there, it can't spawn another mouse, and every spawn will be slugs from then on. Oh, Hunter is trying to just wiggle in, get that slug without bumping into the mouse. Just barely does it, but now we'll have to kind of run away from the mouse. So we're at 8-4 slugs, with Hunter just taking the small lead. But of course, Flint has the mouse kind of set up, which you're happy about that. Oh, but Hunter finds another. It's probably a 4-pack. No, he gets a 3. So we got 11-8. The only benefit with running into like a 2-pack or a 3-pack for Hunter is it kind of takes away the gamble of looking for the 6-pack. Since you're only 1 slug over, you pretty much might as well just go for 20, hit your 22 slug minimum. Oh, he's going to get 4. I didn't see the 4th one was kind of just sitting off to the side. The benefit of those is it gives you a lot higher chances for a bomb drop. You're probably not going to get it, but it is much higher. So Flint is actually caught up on the slugs, since Hunter hasn't been able to kind of get over to that side spot. He's been kind of just hunting through. So if you're noticing, Hunter was having a little bit of a hard time stuttering there. Now, I don't think it's that Hunter is just weak at stuttering. I think the biggest problem there is the more enemies you get on the screen, it actually lags the game a little bit, and it makes stuttering really hard. And kind of right where he is enemies could spawn on the top also of the screen, and on the screen where he is. So he could have had upwards of like 9 enemies sitting on his screen, which just lag you out a lot and make stuttering very hard. But Hunter is going to go through. I think that is 20. So I think they are both at about. I think Flint is also at 20. Or was that 16? I'm not certain. Either way, he's heading up. So waiting to see if he's going for the 6-pack which makes the most sense based on stuttering around all the mice. The only other thing you can kind of hope for sometimes is to hope for... Actually, Hunter's setting up too, but I thought that was 20 for Hunter. Okay. So yeah, that was 20 for Hunter. He was kind of going over and trying to hope for something like this of, instead of going for the 6-pack or hunting for a full 4-pack. Okay, so that should be a 6-pack, I think, or it's not a full 6-pack. Flint wasn't quite able to get it. The lag basically made it a little bit hard. Oh, and it was not. It was probably 2 packs of Antoids. You don't ever want to see that. Oh, and a smash. Oh, that is not the most common, and that is very bad luck. Get a second chance to run. Flint has bad luck. Kind of isn't certain about the 6-pack, and was definitely right on recognizing that that wasn't a full 6-pack. And it takes a death from Antoids. So Hunter is going to go ahead and just slip fully into the lead right now. I'm never certain here if I want to heal or not. If I'm level 8 after a death, I would never take the heal. Alright, so Hunter is stuttering, so we are likely not at 24 offense. 24 offense is the difference for being able to auto-kill the Antoids. Taking some, just kind of... Oh, I think there was a second one hidden there. Yeah, just like that. That's a little more visible. Alright, everyone. Get ready to say your fuzzy pickles. Oh, and Hunter gets dropped on at the door by double Antoids also. He did pick up the extra burg. Wait, oh, gonna play super safe. Oh, you know, that's nice for what could have happened. Well, the call for help is never great. You can one-shot them with autos, but it's pretty hard. I think they have 34 HP it is, or 35. All right, so we are starting with our first Titanic Ant fight. Let's see what we have. Defense down. You love seeing that turn 1. Uh-oh, what happened on Flint's side? Okay, so 60 is not the highest. Oh, and we get an early shield. So we have a lot of damage kind of still to go on Hunter's side. And we're getting a pretty aggro Titanic Ant. Oh, it's a heavy hit. Oh, really nice burger. The burgers do, I think, between like 42. Uh-oh, got a mortal damage hit, so we are just struggling to get in the heals. Thankfully, the mortal damage happened on a roll, while the HP is rolling on a turn we're already healing. All right, Titanic Ant is almost down for Hunter. All right, and a probably semi-pointless smash to finish it up, but we will still take it, just make sure that it is down. So Hunter is through 23-27, and Flint is kind of on his way back up. I'm pretty certain we just got level 8 a second ago on the bottom floor, I think. So Flint is probably just going to hope to stutter past everything and make it up and take on Titanic Ant. Alright, so Flint's looking to just avoid the double Antoids this time. They're pretty obvious that they're Antoids. You actually can have a very small chance that it is a slug and an Antoid, which isn't nearly as scary of a fight, but you want to avoid it either way. Alright, Hunter and Flint just kind of high-five as they pass each other. Flint does have the 24 offense, though, which allows him to get those auto wins. Only thing you have to be careful with taking the ant room ant fights is when you're getting used to it, it's actually surprising how often one of the Antoids will spawn right on top of the rock decal on the ground. And they can just kind of have them blend in. All right, so first turn, we get a 5 MP drain, which you're not happy about, but that is much better than the 6. Oh, but we are risking it a little bit with, I think, did he come into the fight not at full HP? Yeah, definitely want to go with 2 burgers there. Oh, definitely. All right, you're not happy about the outspeed there. So Hunter is actually going to go through and pick up. He could probably almost max out on burgers if he wanted to, just because he did the full withdraw. Meanwhile, Flint is having a brutal Titanic Ant fight. We are having a very aggro Titanic Ant. You're really hoping for some skills that are not just bites, because definitely the safest way to get through the fight is to pretty much heal almost anytime you take damage, because a solid like hit into a crit is almost nothing you can recover from if you weren't healing already. And I don't know how many times I've seen crit into crit from Titanic Ant, but we did clear through. So we made it through. Ants with no deaths to Titanic Ant themselves. Yeah, the no shield is huge, because the shield on Titanic Ant really slows your fight down. Alright, so Hunter is starting the gauntlet. Seems to have pretty nice offense, because we saw a 36 hit, which really helps out, and Hunter definitely has a lot of burgers. Yeah, it's the benefit of taking that's why you go with the full set of burgers. Hunter definitely has even more burgers now since we got the burger drop. I think it's 1 out of 8 chance, so you can get a couple. And it's always nice to just get the bonus burger in there. There's a lot of crushing chops for Hunter, though. But we're still going pretty good time if everything can kind of stay smooth. Hoping not to use up all the rest of the burgers, because Hunter is burning through them pretty good. So we're definitely getting a lot of crushing chops over there. Yeah, lots of crushing chops. I was going to say, Hunter probably should start getting in his life ups when he's way down in this lower end. Oh, that was a really low roll. But I think 26, he's still unlikely to get a 4-turn hit. It's pretty hard to 4-turn the cops. If they, oh, a second burger drop. You gotta love that. Flint sees a butterfly. We don't want that right after we just got full healed. Flint is not going to pick up any extra burgers. We're just going to go straight down there. Oh, he changed his mind, because we're a little bit low on burgers, to tell you the truth. Because he burned a lot at the Titanic Ant fight. So probably, I think, only has 2 left. So we should be able to pick up, what, 2 more? Yeah, 4 is a big difference. I wouldn't have a problem going with 4 over 2. And truthfully, if you have a little bit of extra money on your way down, it doesn't take that much time to just walk over and pick up the burgers and walk out if you have the cash on you. The ATM makes you lose a good bit of time, but you can only drop like 15 seconds. It's like 15, 18, depending on how many burgers you're going to buy, by just scooting over, going in, buying 2 or 3 burgers, and then continuing on. You don't lose that much time. So it's definitely worth it if you're burning all your burgers at Titanic Ant. All right, we got a 28-27 for Hunter. That is a pretty nice, solid net. No one is sad about getting a sub 28-30 in a race. And it's time for Flint. Go ahead and start the gauntlet. Let's see if he can get a little bit of nicer treatment from the cops who, run a gauntlet on a Fight Club gauntlet on a child. All right, 1 cop down. Hunter is going to go ahead and do the path of just trying to make sure you don't walk into a hidden mushroom. That's pretty much what you're mostly worried about over here. Is every once in a while we can kind of sneak into a tree and not be as visible. All right, Hunter picks up the safety burger. Yeah, that one's a little bit too much because your main worry here is if you can get through them. That one is almost, you might be able to scoop by on the right, but it's probably safest just to despawn. There's a lot of mushrooms right now. As Flint is continuing on, we're on to the third cop. Oh, starts off with a crushing chop, and we are really low on HP. That is an outspeed you are very happy with. Flint kind of made a mistake right there, and RNG just said, you know what, we'll give you the freebie. And basically what happened is Flint didn't heal on a turn where he got dropped a little bit too low, down into 14 HP. That is unrecoverable mortal damage pretty much. So you would not be able to heal in the roll down, and that would be, that would be getting sent back to your house. But thankfully, the game kind of threw a little bit of a freebie, and Ness outsped. Most of the time, you are pretty unhappy when you outspeed at cop fights, at least I am. But in this case, you are so happy that you got the outspeed. Hunter's just kind of continuing on, just twosing like normal, just hanging out with some hippie manippies showing up. No, just throwing some, just calling out to Uko, saying, Uko, you need to speedrun more Earthbound. Oh, Flint gets a hamburger just to make sure we can play it safe for strong. $68 HP is a tiny gamble for Captain Strong to go through and just go for the 2 Rockins. You have to kind of roll it. You are likely to finish it, but if Captain Strong hits you and hits you again, you probably won't have time to heal, truthfully. So it's a little bit of risk that I probably would go for myself, but you always got to know there's a little bit of a chance to just get knocked out. And wiping out a Strong is probably one of the worst spots to go. But we had a 31, I think it was a 32 for Flint getting out of Onett. So, with a death that wasn't great, you're not too unhappy about that just because you're getting out before it gets way too late. All right, so Flint is making the walk down, looking to dodge the mushrooms. Probably going to pick up that. We're seeing a little bit of the hamburgers not always getting picked up. Flint's going to go ahead. That's a great time to just avoid it rather than despawning. Just skip it. Hunter walked up a little bit higher than you need to. You don't actually have to look at the pencil statue. You just need to load it into memory, which there's a bush, kind of the little grass spots you could look at. That kind of you can look at to tell that, yeah, I went high enough. But Flint had to go ahead and despawn. Oh, so right here you run the fact that mushrooms have an AoE targeting, and the Antoids with them, you can stutter. So they're kind of, as long as you don't get too close to the mushroom, you can stutter right by. It's amazing how many times enemies spawn right at that entrance as you come out of, I don't actually know what we call that cave, but come out of that cave. Happens a lot. So right now we're still just back to running a couple errands. Flint is withdrawing money, prepping to go ahead and be able to give our goods to Apple Kid, Orange Kid, I don't need Apple Kid. And other than, he probably doesn't eat apples, but I think he's happier with anything else. There isn't any apples in Earthbound anyways. Have the request to call it Fart Cave. I mean, the cave, it is pretty miserable. I don't think anyone's really happy about that cave. So I think we got that going for it. All right, and Hunter is ready to, he's just heading back over to our fart cave to try to see how much time we lose just trying to go through it. Yeah, Hunter loves having a sandwich. Definitely find some good spots to use it every once in a while, of something to try to scoop by. Yeah, and that's why we don't like the cave. You can just get those spawns right there at the front, and there's nothing you could do. But I would rather take these caves over the cave heading over to the cabin where Paula's in, because in there you can get dropped on the spawn. So as soon as you load up in the door, you can have a fight on top of you that you can't dodge, and those are not great, especially because you can't run from those fights. Now, Flint is not having the best luck in the cave either, but I think he's still on the walk over to view the pencil statue. Meanwhile, Hunter's going to continue on over into probably one of the most painful spots. It's just this spot right here. Um, you can get some spawns on the right that right when you see them, you can actually get spawned behind you and just get stuck in a pincer that is very hard to get out of if you even can get out of it. So that's always a spot you're a little bit cautious about. Most other spots, you can be a little bit careful and you might make some risky moves, but you can generally get away from everything or just not walk up into the fights. But that one, you can just be pincered with nothing you can do about it. Now, no surprise, we did not have any life noodles. Not going to be any crazy strats going on right now. No surprise. Not too much of a reason to. At least I'm assuming we're not. We didn't get any saves in the bus station or anything like that. No Voglers today. Yeah, that cave is brutal. Oh wow, that is a lot of spawns for Flint. It's pretty funny. I see the B menu pop up. That reminds me of, funnily enough, when I first played through this game, I didn't quite understand. When I was young, I did play through Earthbound, and I didn't quite understand, the RNG or anything. What a surprise! But I would walk off screen of enemies, and I would hit like B and A and different button inputs, and walk back on, hoping that I can get the enemies to disappear. I didn't quite realize that the buttons didn't really have anything to do with the despawns happening, but I did it a whole bunch anyways, trying to just get rid of some of those enemies. All right, and Hunter makes it through. PRV. Always happy to make it through there without any big issues happening. And Flint is going to go ahead and head over and start his PRV journey. Hunter is probably going to make some short purchases and then head on over for the shack fight. I don't, sorry, I actually don't understand the young manip part. So, sorry, missing it. Yeah, Hunter definitely wanting to going way out of his way to stutter around the snakes. Oh, is Hunter gonna get? Oh, and red. Just a big waste of time to get stuck on these crows. It is amazing how fast the crows are. They aren't really a danger to you at this point, but they just waste time. You pretty much can't run from them, and they can steal items from you. Cookie. There is a chance we could actually see Hunter use the cookie. I think Hunter's someone who might go for it. So there's only one spot you really have use for a cookie anymore at this point in the run, which would be you can look for uh, Carpainter to hit you with a mortal damage hit, and you do the cookie to heal up over it. That you can do, and it'll leave you at 6 points of HP, or 7. But right there for an amazing death warp if you can actually get through a Carpainter in that next cycle. It's pretty nice, not the easiest to do. All right, so Hunter is going for his chance at the quadfecta. I mean, you're pretty happy about that. Oh wait, did Hunter accidentally hit the crow? No, we didn't. All right, so you're pretty happy about that. We had the call for help, but we got the kill on 2, and then we can go through and finish off the last one nice and easily. So overall, pretty quick shack fight, and not any slower than normal, pretty much. So you're happy with that. Yeah, you know what? We did just see James outspeed Carpainter just the other night. So that actually is a spot where that would wreck you. Yeah. I mean, it depends on the HP you're at. There's a chance that Cookie could save you, but that would definitely be risky business. I don't think I've never noticed myself outspeeding Carpainter though, so it's not the most common, thankfully. All right, so Hunter picked up some eggs. I think didn't seem long enough to be grabbing two. Flynn's gonna go and call it safe and grab an extra croissant. Has some pretty huge heals. If Hunter has less than 10 HP, I'm not sure where his range is, but Hunter is someone you will see Crow Death Warp. Unless I'm very, very low, I actually wouldn't like doing the Crow Death Warp ever. Because like 8 HP, it could take like 8 turns for the Crow to kill you. It's not very quick. If you are down there at like 4 HP though, it's definitely pretty worth it. Generally. Some people like it more than others though. I've seen him do more than one Crow Death Warp, so Hunter loves it. So you always got a chance. All right, we're starting on the Carpainter fight. All right, Flint gets 1 cleared out, so you're pretty happy with that, at least it looks like. All right, yeah, nice smooth Carpainter fight. I mean, Shack fight. Oh, and Hunter gets a double reflect in turn 1. That's big. Really low rockin', but you're kind of okay with it. All right, and we're looking at it. Are we gonna get it? No hits for Hunter. Oh, he didn't use up his last rockin'. He could have, but I think it's too late at this point. All right, 41-28 Carpainter for Hunter. He went for the cookie, almost got it to work, didn't get the reflect, but he might have been able to get it actually if he noticed he had the psychic points to do 1 more rockin'. That might have been enough to actually do it. It depends on the roll. We did see that cookie tried though. So we actually get both our runners picking up the skip sandwich at pretty much the same time. It's just 1 on the way in and 1 on the way out. So I think Hunter's rocking with 2. So we're going to see where we see those pretty soon. I know, I think I definitely see some of them around Threed. Around Threed for Hunter. I think it's a pretty common spot. He likes to use it to try to run by if any enemies show up, just to make sure there's no issues with them. All right, so Hunter's heading over, gonna pick up Paula and head on over towards the Death Warp. We are pretty certain not going to be seeing a Crow Death Warp, just because Hunter did have to use that fresh egg and had way too much HP. And Flint is going to go ahead and start his Carpainter fight. That is a huge reflect. This was a 1-turn Carpainter for Flint. That was a huge reflect into a very sizable reflect. So that's not very common. That is a huge amount of HP, but I think it's worth it. He's also not that much in HP above Hunter. So that was a huge time gain. I'm not sure how much time was made up there, but he's only about 40 seconds behind Hunter now, which is, or maybe it's a minute 10. Not certain. That was huge. You do not get that many 1-turns on Carpainter. The only thing you hate when you get those 1-turn Carpainters or anything like that is you now have a huge amount of healing items in your inventory. I actually before I don't remember something like that. I just had too many healing items and I just got like stuck at Paula. For some reason my mind just could not track it. So Hunter feels like he has enough HP. He's gonna stutter down to look for, I don't know if it's gonna be, all right, so we're looking for a big bear. I do not remember the name of them. Oh, but the baddie says no. Mr. Baddie says, nope, you cannot scoot by me. I'm just going to scoot in the way. Yeah, Mighty Bear. Yep. That's what Hunter was hoping for. Did not have the luck. Sometimes, depending on my HP, if I wanted to scoot it down on the bottom, it's something pretty nice. All right, so Ness is down nice and quick, so we're just gonna switch over to the auto fight. Paula is great at taking out. All right, a pretty nice death warp. Obviously, didn't happen right at the beginning. I didn't track it, but I wonder if Hunter accidentally killed the mole, because he did hit the mole and didn't red swirl it, but he did fight the first mole and then moved on for some reason. Yeah, that is always a little bit scary, like interesting. We go through, we save Paula. So like, hey, nice to meet you. Everything's great, and then we just throw her teddy bear on the ground. Yeah, we definitely have a great race. It is nice and close. Obviously, we're getting a little bit closer to cooldown spots. Oh, and Flint just has nothing at the entrance. Very easy to stutter past nothing. Are we going for the Mighty Bear also over here? Gonna try to skip our way over to a Mighty Bear. Alright, so we're gonna see Flint get pretty much exactly what Hunter was hoping to go for, which is go through and get the Mighty Bear. These are very powerful and pretty much just they don't confuse themselves, but we get a gut save from Paula. You do not want to see that. 73, so I would probably just defend at this point. The damage, once you're down in the sub like 20 range, on a Mighty Bear, you can easily defend instead of using the ATM card. If you're like sub 10 HP on Ness, I would just defend against the normal mole, also the mole playing rough. The hits are still enough to take you out even if you defend. All right, Flint took out a bunch of extra money here. Nice round $420, I think, which is a little bit extra. So not sure if he's setting up for buying some extra bottle rockets or bombs or anything like that once we're actually heading over to the tent in a little while. That's pretty much the next time you have anything to spend if you want to play it safe, would be to buy some extra for the tent. Otherwise, you only need 100. All right, and Flint getting an unassuming local guy, just gotta make sure to get around him. Wow, getting another one. These are not the most common of spawns. Thankfully, they were in pretty good spots, so they weren't in the way. And now we're gonna head over to the Runaway 5 show shortly. Probably one of Hunter's favorite times. I'm pretty certain the Hunter loves the Runaway 5. Yeah, we're not quite neck and neck, but we're definitely within spitting difference between the two of them with the graveyard coming up and winters. So it is definitely a pretty good race. Yeah, yeah, I think Flint would. It would still be pretty close, but I think Flint probably would have a small lead if it wasn't. If everything was the same, and we didn't have that small Antoid death. That'd be pretty close. Still pretty close. Just you'd be a little bit behind. Now Hunter's over here jamming to the Runaway 5. Can't quite be like Uko just chatting in the middle of the run. I think most of us were pretty surprised that Uko just talking while running. Like, hey, most people don't do that. I'm always humored about the bus and the decisions of it. It's pretty easy for me. Right bus is really the only way to go. The only time left bus is an option is if there's not much of a race and RJ is casting. It's just my way of showing my love for RJ. You know, if he's there, I know he loves left bus just so much that that's about the only time. You know, it's just How do you get no bus? You just walk outside and the bus isn't there. They just left without you. That would be pretty no fun, I gotta admit. Yeah, with Jimothy just really showing it's like, yep, no bus. Let's do it. You know, uh Hunter and I maybe could figure out what's an up bus, whether it's just we ask the bus how it's doing, or we actually walk around the theater. Yeah, where do we find the boombox in Tucson? That's the real question. All right, we all know that any left buses coming out of Hunter are all homage to the turbo left bus, as previously discussed in the quarterfinals or what it is of last year. Hunter and I were playing each other, and we decided to introduce turbo left bus, where you just make a trip into the department store, um, just because RJ happened to be casting. I'm fairly certain, so it made perfect sense to just venture all the way into the department store. So Flint went ahead and did your normal ride bus, a little bit wider than you really need to go, though. It's something to kind of go through and track, but you don't have to step way outside there. It's just kind of something you have to experiment with a little bit to find it. It's a little past the side of the building, though, I think. All right, and Hunter is finally on the next part of stuff actually happening, so we're going to go look at the graveyard and see what happens. All right, nice smooth walk into the graveyard. We get stared at, and time to go through and... Oh, no spawns on the way out? And now we find out that the whole run was all set up for just a maniped graveyard out of Hunter. Definitely. All right, Hunter also takes a moment just to talk to the pretty lady. We just want to ask her, what's up, blonde woman. We won't say any more, but she also just stares into your soul, apparently, and then just turns around, soulless, and nobody is surprised. All right, and heading on to Winters, and time for Flint to go ahead and start his graveyard walk. All right, Flint not quite having the insanely just empty graveyard. The graveyard is very welcoming to Hunter today. So, yeah, it'd be hard to say what you should do for Flint if you saw the fly on the right. I would almost want to just try to despawn it on the left, I think. Just walk far left and come back over. It's always pretty hard to tell, though, because you have to watch out for everything. Like, what if it flies out? What if there's one over to the left? You never know. But nice, easy walk over. And the way out looks nice and smooth also. So two nice graveyard walks. You're happy with that. Graveyard is not the worst, but it could be a little bit scary. All right, and so now we are both over in the Winters part. Hunter picking up our favorite boy, who's not Jeff, because so many people dislike Jeff. I'm pretty certain that Hunter is actually a Jeff fan, though. So probably Hunter's favorite part of Boogie Percent is Winters. What do you bet? Jeff actually sounds like not a bad cat name. That's actually kind of funny. Tony is the enemy, and he doesn't drop anything, so there's no use in trying to rifle through Tony's stuff while he's asleep. Yeah, Maxwell, look at that guy's eyes. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. What is going on with his eyes, man? Well, you could always name your cat Jeff Jr. just to have more fun with it. So, that's supposed to be goggles? I mean, I could see it, but I think it's animated pretty weird. He's wearing his PPE backwards, so I would really rather have the first Tony. I don't think there's anyone that's happy about Bubble Monkey. There's only so many times you can miss the second protoplasm skip because of Bubble Monkey before you just wish you could smash Bubble Monkey into a gruff goat. Just take Bubble Monkey, throw Bubble. You see a gruff goat, throw Bubble Monkey at the gruff goat, and then just continue on. I think everyone wishes they could do that. It's like, yeah, just take the monkey. Let me go. All right, and to everyone's favorite part of Boogey%, we are pretty much getting to. We are just about to walk up on the amazing beast that is Tessie, of course. Hopefully we got the music, the relaxation. I mean, a little bit less relaxing when that guy just doesn't get out of your way and you're sitting there, it's like, dude, come on, move. Because you can't step like 2 pixels down from those the tent stakes. The picture box goes a little bit past that stake, so you have to be all the way past there, almost to those kind of grass spots on the ground before you can go down. So that's the negative of going beneath it. It doesn't happen that often, but everyone, let's go and enjoy some MS Paint Beast. Also, why don't we have MS Paint Beast available this year? Like normal, just kind of wandering through Winters. The first part is quite simple. Let's get a Tessie ride, and then you go into the fun of Brick Road. Is it just I don't have my stuff? I thought I did. Not sure. Let's go ahead and check out for Hunter. All right, so we get the present open just for fun. Also, just in case you don't like protoplasms, you can look over to the left over on Flint's screen, and we have another relaxing Tessie ride. Oh, protoplasm dodging Hunter, but I think we have 1 hit left. All right, so we make it past the first protoplasm. Definitely the hardest one. Hunter healing. Definitely want to just make sure we do not get one of those spectacular duck deaths. They are pretty rare. Oh, Hunter gets that nice little duck skip. It ducked over in there. And can we get Proto too? I mean, it was a nice try. I haven't actually seen it recovered like that before, so that would have been interesting to see if you could get the proto skip that way. Pulled monkey down and then tried to move back up to juke the present to staying high. But I think there's probably a big chance that protoplasm or that monkey would just kind of walk right into the protoplasm anyways. Good try though. All right, and so we have Flint coming on to the beast that is protoplasm, while Hunter walks on into Pond Cave. See, what kind of Pond Cave are we going to get from Hunter? All right, well, that's a great start in next to nothing in the entrance. And how is Flint's start going to go? Great turn one. Hunter actually has quite a few enemies in this room. But go ahead and stutters pass without an issue. Flint is having a great first protoplasm. Doesn't even get hit. You're happy about that. Of course, Hunter's making it onto the second room and looking for a nice empty room, it looks like. Into a nice easy... Oh, wow, that is a great second cave. You cannot complain about, was that 2 respawns to try for that? And then you just get an empty cave. That is a great pond cave for Hunter so far. All right, Flint does get the duck skip. And we get the proto skip. Going for a second. Ooh, that was so close, but it made it, and it feels so good to see Monkey just barely scrape by, just scoot right out of the way of the present, perfectly in time. All right, and Flint's starting the pond cave. So at this point, we're pretty much coming down to, an off chance that someone has a bad 3 walk, or really what it is going to be at the tent. Since Hunter's red, I kind of just looking for the last set of spawns to get out of the way. And Flint's not taking any chances with any of those crazy stutters kind of through that small opening. I have not had great success with that. I'm not great at stuttering myself. But Flint did show some great skips. Yeah, the proto skip. And actually had a pretty nice duck skip, so actually was able to get both in there. All right, and Hunter jukes the cave boys, as is pretty easy to do. I was right on the edge, but nice mushroom estimation from Flint there. Yeah, I think if I was Flint, if I was looking at the race, I probably would just skip the safety bottle rocket, just because you kind of need every little second you can get. But Flint picks it up, and meanwhile Hunter's going to go ahead and take off. So this one you got to wiggle and get that first. Yep, just like that. Got to aggro them so they move down. And then, now that they're aggroed and stuck on the wall, you can continue on. All right, and get some more tunes from the Skyrunner. Ooh. That was actually interesting how well hidden that cave boy was by the Stonehenge pillars. I didn't actually see it until it moved. Yeah, both players actually had really great winters. Flint's Pond Cave was definitely a little bit worse than Hunter's, but he had a little bit of a better brick road, so it kind of equalized those two a little bit. And so now we're heading over to the last part. We have great times from both our runners today, so these are some good runs. I didn't get to look up PBs. I should have. This would be a good chance too. Good question. So I'm just checking real quick if it's still submitted. Looks like it. If what Flint has submitted was a 111.34, then we're definitely on pace. If as long as everything goes through, got a chance. All right, and with a crash, Hunter arrives in 3 again with Jeff, our main carry, our late game carry of Earthbound, and truthfully carries us through this fight too. Hunter doesn't get the door attack skip, but it's overall pretty minor. All right, empty outside. All right, so I think Hunter probably has 2 skips, right? So a lot of times you're not just looking for the kind of fastest time, like Hunter here, where he went through and skipped picking up the teddy bear. It's not just the saving the time for that. You're also kind of hoping for the perfect tent, where tent actually has a chance to take out like Paula and Ness. I mean, and tent gets one shot by the big bottle rocket. A little bit of a better chance for that to happen. All right, so we're gonna try 2. And okay, not quite the one shot. I think we still have about 180 damage to do. It's 210 damage to do. So, all right, here we go. GG. Hunter is going to go ahead and take it. He does get a little bit of a faster. It's normally what, like a minute, 5 seconds, 55 seconds of text. I don't know as much as it is since the turbo has been used. But skipping Paula's level ups, as I kind of mentioned, saves you quite a bit of time. Paula's a lot of times level 1, and she goes all the way up to level 11 also. So you skipped all those level ups for Paula, and I think Jeff only gains 1 extra level. So all right, and let's see what Flint is going to get. All right, 107.19 for Hunter, and Flint gets trapped by a kid, and it's time for him to go ahead and step in. Like I said, it was a close race. Both of them coming in here, and being what Flint's Boogey looks like, we got a good chance. But Flint has the teddy bear, so a little bit of safety. That is a very low uh, rockin', but the bottle rocket is able to save it. So GG, what a close race, and unless Flint has a updated PB, this looks like a pretty good PB bump for Flint also. So that is a great race from him. But we all know the real thing to be proud of for Hunter is the left bus, because that's really what we need. Is we need more of this terrible, terrible left bus to exist. Why? I don't have an answer about that, but we need it. Also, be great if Hunter could get something cool here. Show us. It is pretty fun when you get some of the people who have practiced debug, and you get the very rare spot where they can teleport to the end of the game. I think we got that from James or someone in the last like 2 years. All right, well, GG everybody. Yeah, Left West does get a lot of hate for good reason, but all right, I think. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a great race. Good job, Flint. That was an amazing run. Good job, Hunter. I'll be waiting to meet you again in the finals or something like that. We'll see what happens. Ah, have a good one, everyone. I don't know when they're signing off, but everyone have a good night. And then we'll probably be looking for another Earthbound stream, see if there's anyone around.